Culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce, XXV, Double I,
Rome.
D-Melo, Gruff Lion,
T-Boogie, man.
to the greatest sports show on the planet, La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say. Hey, we back. I feel like it's been a little minute, especially for me. We back, man. It's your favorite sports show. Guys present sports for the culture. I'm tonight's host at Bryce, XXV, Double I, joined by my guy, the owl man himself. Introduce yourself, brother.
Hey, man, a.k.a. You gotta whisper my name. Hey, it's T-Boogie. Hey, this is a good week for us. You know what I'm saying? If you part of the members, this has been a good week. Iceman, Habiti, made an honor. We out here, man.
Hey, yo. Nah, facts though, bro. You back, bro.
Back.
Put a whole battery in my man's back off this one. But I can't.
The ice pack in my back.
Hey, that's crazy. But we just gonna leave that alone, bro. Let's jump right into it, man. What we waiting on, bro? Iceman is the biggest news of the moment of the culture right now. And we was offline having a good conversation about it and just like kind of discussing putting into perspective, not only just like the feud with Kendrick, but Drake's artistry in general, man. And like where this Iceman project leaves him in the plethyon of artists and the plethyon of legends that do this rap thing. I know you high on Iceman, so before we get into like kind of some of the particulars, man, just give you an overall review. And as our resident six man, I'm gonna call you. What did you think about the albums?
3 drops, 3 classics. But nah, I ain't gonna say it's 3 drops, 3 classics, but Iceman is probably his strongest project since, in my mind, maybe Views. It's been a long time since Drake has been like in his bag to that degree. Like you could tell coming out of that battle, I felt like he was rapping for his life. You know what I'm saying? Rapping for his status as top dog, and you could kind of hear that on every track. And as far as the concept of it, man, I just thought it was genius because he does have almost like 3 distinct fan bases. You got the people that love to rap, the people that love the singing Drake. Even Kendrick liked Drake with the melodies. He gave Kendrick an album. You know what I'm saying? Here, take that. And then you got the international album, which I think is near and dear to Drake, a guy that spends a lot of times in Turks. He toured in Australia. So I think just really a complete project. And I don't think I've ever seen somebody drop 3. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a double disc. Tupac had a double disc. Big had a double disc. I don't think I've seen 3 ever. So, you know what I'm saying? I think he changed rap, you know what I'm saying? Because how do you top that? You know what I'm saying? Whoever is coming after Drake to be the next, how do you top three projects at once? And not just 3 fillers. Chris Brown to drop 100 songs, but like 3 concise projects. Yeah, man. Good work. I mean, even if you're a Kendrick fan, I think if you've been honest, you got to respect at least the work ethic.
No, that's a fact, though. That's a fact. And like, yeah, when you talk about like distinct bodies of work, dropping 3 is impressive. A lot of speculation as to why he dropped 3. What did he drop all 3 to get out of his deal? I don't know why he did it, but like, it's flooding the market, and you got to respect it. At a time when your back is against the wall, bro, like flooding the market is a great business strategy, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if your company about to go out of business, release the inventory to the people, man. Let them make the decision, bro, based off the artistry. And I feel like that's what Drake did right here, bro. It's like, yes, I had this feud with Kendrick where my formulas were picked apart. He runs to Atlanta, but dropped a song called Ran to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you could pick apart my formulas, but the shit still works. And I'm going to prove that the shit still works. I think that's my favorite part about especially Iceman, bro, is it felt like Drake getting back to Drake, right? And it didn't feel like, going out of his way to hit Chase, right? Going out of his way to diss track. It felt like, bro, I'm going to do what I do, my formula, and watch it work again. And he did it over and over again with 2 more albums. Like, we know what Drake is. He's the flashy bars. He's the songs that make you dance, and he's the I can dip into any genre. And he did all three of those things like in a simultaneous effort, bro. Gotta respect it. Gotta respect it. Now let's like I started getting there a little bit, but let's get kind of into the feud aspect, and feel free to like jump in with anything else too. But like as far as the beef goes with Kendrick, man, like where do you feel like that is left currently, bro? And Drake was beefing with the whole industry. You know what I'm saying? Like he took shots at multiple people here.
I mean, we said it off air. Like it's kind of all right, Kendrick won the battle and Drake's trying to win the war. But Big Shirley brought up a good point. She said she doesn't even think Kendrick cares about the war. And maybe he doesn't. That'd be disappointing to me. You know what I'm saying? Not that I want to see another battle because we saw what that did to rap, right? But when Kendrick drops, if you're not going to at least shoot back in some capacity, I feel like it just puts the pressure on Kendrick to like, if you care to be the number one artist, right? Because it appeared to me that you did. You topped out, you Super Bowled. To me, it appeared like you were navigating yourself to run rap, and then it got quiet. Got quiet for over a year. So, I think his next project gotta make a statement. And maybe Kendrick's best idea is to get back to what he does best. Good Kid, Mad City, to Pimp a Butterfly. Maybe it'd be in his best interest to avoid even bringing up the beef. Like, I already won. You know what I'm saying? So I personally would like to see him drop something great next. Like, don't let me down.
Now you making points here, bro. It's an interesting like little crossroads right here, right? Because then you got to think about like, okay, what is the battle versus what is the war, right? When you hear that we lost the battle, but we won the war. We hear that ideology all the time, right? And if we take this feud between Drake and Kendrick and attribute like what the battle is versus what the war is, to me, the battle was the beef. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the battle is the beef, bro. So now we got to ask ourselves, what is the war? And I feel like that's for both artists to decide on their own. But, I use a little like historical context, right? Jay-Z versus Nas, right? There's not a soul out here that would tell you that Jay-Z won the beef between Nas, bro, between him and Nas. But did he win the war? Your man sitting on a couple B's. Beyonce is his wife. You know what I'm saying? Got Rock Nation. He got a brunch every year that everybody attends. Who won the war, bro? And what was the war? Maybe to Nas, that wasn't the war. But public perception.
Nas is still out here dropping great music. Like,
right. I think that is where Kendrick will be. I feel like in 15, 20 years, bro, Kendrick's still going to be out here dropping great music. And Drake will have 4 5 B's, you know what I'm saying? Probably by that time, 100 B. Who knows how money going to inflate. He might have 100 B's, bruh, and he might have a whole label releasing music. And you know what? This brings me to another point we were discussing, bruh, because like I asked the question to you offline, like, do you think Drake wrote all this shit? And you being the owl that you are said absolutely. but I was like, yo, there's no way that Drake wrote all these tracks. But I don't care, bruh. Because like I care more about the art than the skill. I feel like people view rap as a skill versus an art. To me, this shit is an art, bro. I don't care if he wrote all these tracks, bro. He still had to rap them joints, bro. Like, he still had to package this as Iceman. He still had to put the ice over in Canada and have people wonder what the hell was going on. You feel me? Like, was that his idea to do that? Probably not. But at the end of the day, it's coming from Drake, bro. Like, that is artistry to me, bro. And I respect artistry before more than I respect just the skill of rapping. Because if it was just about the skill of rapping, these members from the URL would be who we cared about. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the best rappers. Like, these are the best bars, But that's not what we care about, dog. So, like, Drake showed, like, I'm going to do my formula. I'm going to roll it out, and y'all going to love it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like I told you, I think a lot of disappointment stems from like just people feeling like they're deceived, right? Because like you said, rap is a skill, but it is an art too. So, I think the average fan is looking to believe that their favorite artist is the most skilled artist. So to kind of find out via Meek Mills that this isn't what you thought, I think that's a permanent dent in your armor, you know, and he washed Meek, but permanent dent, you know what I'm saying? So me, I'm kind of like the average fan where I wanted to be a skill, but also like you said, the formula works. I can't deny what happens when some of those songs come on, man. Like some of the magic that Drake makes, which honestly makes me, all right, we talked about Nas versus Hov, Drake versus Kendrick, right? It kind of parallels. But now we're talking about like, when I'm thinking of the biggest rappers ever, is Drake bigger than Hov? Because the numbers would say yes. The longevity would say yes. We've never seen anyone this popular for this long, ever.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna respond to that. Before I do, I just gotta say, like, to the skill of rapping thing, like, is it not a skill to be able to identify what's the hottest shit in the world, bro? Like Drake's ultimate superpower, bro, before him having bars, bro, his ultimate superpower is to be able to say, that shit I just heard out of this random ass city that no one cares about is fire, and everybody else would love it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Before we even know we would love it, before we even heard it many times,
yeah,
he's showing us that we would love that. And I feel like that's a superpower. Now, to the whole point, dog, that's a tough question. I think it's hard to compare numbers, right? Because I think like we're in an era where things are way more readily available than they ever have been. You know what I'm saying? Like the reach is crazy at this point for any artist. Like if you get to the top, if you become a superstar, you're going to be bigger than previous superstars. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if we like still like, so apples to apples, I won't do, but even just a comparison and taking like era to era, I think you got a valid point, bro. Like, is he bigger than Hov? I think he is, bro. I think he is. I think he's probably bigger than Hov was at Hov's peak, bro.
I'm on the fence, right? Because I saw people from my city, you know what I'm saying, that was an area where we wore local designers, local fashion, local brands, wearing Yankee fitteds. You know what I'm saying? Yankee fitteds and Stan Smith Adidas and button-ups, and it, like, no one's dressing like Drake. All right. You know what I'm saying? I know a limited amount of people that have an OVO even t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? I got a pair of Noctis, but you know, that's not the same.
Shout out to the Noctis.
Yeah, I like Noctis as a brand. I'm a Nike guy in general, so you know what I'm saying. But it's tough. But I do think Drake is probably bigger than Hov. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, because Drake's not even considering Hov. He got Mike glove on the album cover. You know what I'm saying? He bought the glove.
That's a good point. I also think like a part of the reason why like you're not gonna see people dressing like Drake and Drake mannerisms per se the same way you've seen Hov is because like I think we then get to that discussion where it's like originator versus artist, right? Like to me, Hov is an originator, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? To dress like Drake is to dress like the rap game. You feel me? Like to dress like Hov is to dress like Hov. Like Hov started the buttons up with the jeans. You know what I'm saying? Like Hov started the brim real low. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he started certain shit. But to dress like Drake is just to be fly like the rest of the niggas in the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like because Drake is an embody in many ways, bro. His artistry is an embodiment of the totality of the culture, bro. Where Hov was like showing you I don't want to say a subset, but Hov was showing you like an example of what the culture can produce. Where Drake is showing you like, I'm taking culture, and I'm balling it up and throwing it at you. You feel me? And like that's what he is, bro. And that is why, and that's the genius of Kendrick and the Beef was he was able to say, y'all really like this bottled up culture, bro. That's not that isn't anything specific or particular.
Yeah, it's no real substance, right?
Right. Y'all don't want nothing particular. Y'all just want a carbon copy of what y'all are, a accumulation of everything y'all are packaged to you. But dog, you can't deny the artistry.
We know the answer though.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Yes, because and the problem with being an originator is sometimes you can strike out, right? You can hey, bing bop, boom bop, and then it's just like where, like you said, if I'm embodying the culture, like I'm kind of using what's already hot and I'm identifying the next hot thing. So I'm less likely to strike out because I'm not trying to create a lane as much as I am trying to, take paths that are already built. So, I get it, but I think it's space in the industry for both of them. But I mean, Iceman, bro, this is like, I don't care what my kids say. I don't care what Twitter says. Drake is the number one artist, and he'll be the number one artist probably until he decides to shut it down.
I mean, it's hard to argue that, bro. It's hard to argue that he's not number one. Well, I guess you could argue that. Is he number one artist? I don't know, but rap game,
right now. If they said, all right, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday we got Kendrick, Sunday we got Drake. $300 for a ticket. Whose show you going to see?
Fresh off the beef, the people's going to see Kendrick. Right now, everybody going to see Drake, bro. Like everybody going to see Drake right now. So I feel you. I
was never, for the record, you know what I'm saying? Let me put this in the timestamps. I was never going to see Kendrick. Never.
That's a fact. You was like Maul from Rory and Maul podcast, man. You are our resident out, my good man.
All right, I'm gonna tell the viewers a quick story. Also, it's kind of why I'm so entrenched in this side of the battle, the beef, the industry. I remember, you know what I'm saying? I remember the day I heard Drake on a mixtape. Songs I downloaded off of like LimeWire or something. And I'm listening to it. I say, all right, I don't know who this is. This Drake guy is, he's different. I run out the room. I tell my man, Mark, I tell my wife, she's just my girlfriend at the time. I tell Big Shirley, I said, hey, Lil Wayne and Drake, black Ferrari with the red seats. I call it playing checkers. Hey, all right. I said, listen, this is about to be the next great rapper. And they were just like, whatever. And I'm like, all right, like he's talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm never doing verses. I'm forever doing lectures. I said, all right. So that's why I kind of always been, you know what I'm saying? Even before So Far Gone dropped, like I was a Drake fan. I'm not no bandwagon. It's a lot of people that came on once he got hot. I kind of believed in bro from day one. Believed in Tory Lanez from day one. Believed in Wiz Khalifa from day one. So it's kind of like when I found an artist before the masses find them, I'm more endeared to them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm it's almost like I formed a bond with this artist. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the story of my relationship with Drake as a fan. Like I was there from the ground, Replacement Girl. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember all that.
No, I respect it. You loyal. And I'm with you. Like I think we got a group chat, man. Everybody on the panel that we in, and we talking shit all day in that group chat. And like we was live commenting on the beef as it happened. You know, we still talk about it. It's a pretty constant subject, probably in most group chats. I think I got labeled because of where I was coming from, just commenting on the joint. Like I was trying to be, objective in my takes, right?
You trying to be impartial, yeah.
I was trying my best to be impartial, right? But I do feel like when you're trying your best to be impartial, whichever side your impartiality agrees with, you end up getting tagged to that side. That's how it just ends up looking. Yeah. But I felt like Drake was winning. I mean, I felt like Kendrick was winning the beef, bro. And I felt like Drake had some fire songs during the beef, but I felt like Kendrick was winning, and I didn't feel like it was close. Like in basketball terms, I felt like it was a 4-1 series win for Kendrick. Like, yeah, Drake got a game. I might have said he got 2 games. Maybe it was 4-2, but the last 2 wins was blowout losses for Drake. You know what I'm saying? But I told y'all from the jump, bro. I've been a Drake fan I've been a bigger Drake fan than a Kendrick fan from the jump. And like you said, like I go back with Drake. Bro. I can't remember what album it was, what mixtape it was, but the red background, bro. Whatever that joint was way back in the day. One of them old one of them old LimeWire downloads. Like Drake was going crazy, bro. That early Lil Wayne stuff, man, shit was insane. But I think he's entering a new era right now, man. And I think we really about to see like an evolution from Drake just a rapper to where he about to go to this whole status, bro. Where it's like the real war now, the real war for Drake to be quote unquote beating Kendrick is to run up 10 Bs, is to run up because Drake has superpowers that Kendrick doesn't, bro. And he could really run it up and just control shit the way Hove controls shit and leave Kendrick in the dust like Hove did Nas. And I'm a huge Nas fan. And like you said, Nas is making great music to this day. But who won, bro? Hove or Nas? If we just looking at like who won life, bro. And that's what people gonna look at when it's said and done. They're not gonna just remember the beef. They're gonna remember the beef. They're gonna remember they not like us. They're gonna look back and be like, who won life?
Nas picked Khalees, Hove got Beyonce.
Come on, bro. Hove got a whole got Rock Nation, bro. Had Title, got a brunch that everyone comes to every single year, bro. They just can't wait to be at Hove's brunch. Like, come on, dog.
Hove got so big he don't even do his hair. Like he just let the hair grow. Like it's free form.
Yeah, that's where I see Drake going, bro. And if he goes to that. Yes, Kendrick would have won the battle that was the beef, but Drake wins the war of public perception.
I do think the next battle, though. I don't know if Kendrick responds or not, but I think Drake is eyeing Hove. Like you said, that CEO status, 3, 4, 5 billion. I can pull strings, I can call shots because that's the next boss. You know what I'm saying? Hove is the final boss. So, and he threw shots at him. The jig is up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's where this goes. But I don't know if Hove has the album coming out or, you know, maybe Hove they battle on some industry. You know what I'm saying? All it takes is for Drake to start a sports agency. You know what I'm saying?
Drake shit could be so much more vicious than Hove's ever was. And the reason I say this, bro, my man never even got back in his acting bag, bro. Like, imagine Drake just pulled like The Rock from wrestling to acting, like from rap to acting the same way Will Smith did or somebody. Like, bruh, Drake can fuck around and win an Oscar and a Grammy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got that repertoire, bruh. Like, it's a possibility. Like, he's like Wembanyama, bruh. Like, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to art, bruh. He's a 5-tool player. This was baseball, bruh. Like, when it comes to artistry.
He's an alien. Yeah. Sing, host, tell jokes. I can do it all, man.
And classically trained in this shit, bro. Like, you don't just get to be a 14-year-old actor without having some classical training, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just get to like, bro, my man is classically trained, bro. Like, that's like it's hard to really compete with on an artistry level if we just looking at like if we taking it for what it is in art. And like you said, he chasing Michael Jackson, right? With the glove on the album cover. Bro, Michael Jackson was getting beat by his dad when he was 7, 8 years old to be great. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, classically trained by Quincy Jones and like it takes that level. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's levels. And Drake's ceiling is really high. I just hope he doesn't get too wrapped into like wanting to be this like this guy that wants to win beefs against people like him. Like, bro, leave that shit in the past. If Drizzy leave that shit in the past, bro, that's gonna be the ultimate test for him. Because Hove had to leave that Nas battle in the past to become Hove, bro. If he would have kept trying to battle Nas to this day with the music Nas still be making, it would have been a futile effort, bro.
And Nas kept shooting.
He kept shooting, bro. Like, he kept shooting. Like, and then what Jay ended up doing is, I ain't ever gonna shoot at you, but I'm just gonna drop a subtle shot every 4 years just to remind you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the last thing I want to see Drake become is 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like my man gotta constantly come with the negativity against the person he formerly beefed with. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta move past the shit to be great.
On that note, and then we can move on to sports. What's up with your man? I know this is one of your favorite artists, man. What's up with your man, Boss?
Yo, Rose ain't wildin', bro. Nah, bro, bro, I don't know what's up with my man, bro. That back in the day, bro, I thought Ross was on a crazy trajectory, bro. When he dropped Teflon Don and Deeper Than Rap, all them jokes, I don't know what happened to my man, bro. But
Look, the video putting out, man. Did you see the one where he disrespecting Roy and Maul? Then he started talking about Maul brother Biggs.
Yeah, he had to backtrack on that.
And he had to come back and somebody loves you.
But I'll say this. Ross one of the funniest dudes in the industry, though. Like, yeah. Ross be cracking me up, bro.
He is, but he using his powers for evil.
He's become what he probably didn't want to become. I don't know if you seen what he said earlier about Uncle Murder, right? You know, the one with the dark spots on his cheeks. I was like, yo, it's disrespectful, bro. And the one with the ashy face. I'm like, yo, this man Ross wicked, bro.
Yeah, but he, you know what I'm saying? I seen Ross on a flyer for like the ski resort joint. I'm just like, this is like in the winter. He got the bread, but I don't think the music is moving like it should. You know what I'm saying, for Ross? And I think a lot of it has to do with how he's portraying himself. Like, a boss don't do all of that fighting and going back and forth. Like, it's been looking very unbossy. You know what I'm saying, lately, and I just feel bad because Ross do have one of the best rap catalogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, he do, but you doing verses with French Montana and arguably losing. Like, it's
yeah, bro. Ross,
he need a
Ross
better.
be left with the personality, bro. It's something about like having a certain amount of mystique to you, bro. Like a certain amount of like. I see, like, fresh off the Michael Jackson movie, I watched like an interview with him about him, and he was like, "I'm only going to do these interviews every once in a while. I want it to be a little mystery." It's like, you got to have a certain amount of mystery, bro. People shouldn't know or feel like they know what your real personality is. When they do, they can start attributing certain things to you that may or may not be true. Ross out here looking like a class clown at this point. Like, that's like what his energy is giving off.
Facts.
That might not even be him. He might still be on some ball shit, but it's just like every time he pulls his camera out, he on some class clown shit. So it's like, right, that's going, yeah, that's, who am I to tell Ross what he should be doing? But it ain't the Ross we was accustomed to.
Hey, listen, man. Just like we just saying with Drake, if you make good music, all is absolved. But right now, he looking crazy. Ross and Cole arguably took the biggest hits out of this battle, man.
Yeah. The thing I say, I think Cole bounce back gonna be vicious though, is because like I said, bro, having that mystique about you, Cole's kept that, bro.
I thought Cole retired,
quote unquote, bro. Quote unquote, like the same way Hov retired, Nas retired, quote unquote, dog. But I also think Cole is kind of just a different type of cat, bro, where he's like, man, I want to separate myself from this limelight that is, like, Cole is the one that really only cares about the skill of rapping, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. But yeah, he took a major hit. He definitely took a major hit. And I'm a Cole fan, bro. I'm definitely a big Cole fan, but hard to bounce back after the way he handled it. And public perception is everything, bro. You may have handled it right universally, like, the laws of the universe might decide that, like you might sleep the best at night out of everyone in the battle. You know what I'm saying? But public perception is just different than like how you sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be the issue that Cole has as far as when we go back and rank them. Like when we do our all-time rankings in 20 years, like that public perception gonna mean a lot.
Yeah, they're gonna say he ducked, and it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. Like, and then, like, you know, another one of my favorites, like, now we gonna get to sports. Don't worry, y'all. We're gonna get to sports. But I gotta mention, like, the role Future has played in this too, bro. Because Future is a funny guy. Y'all know that's my dog, man. Probably my favorite artist. Like, Future don't give a damn about the politics. He like, yo, we running back to Atlanta? I'm on the track, bro. Like, my man, like, bro. My man Future gonna be relevant forever, bro. Mark my words, bro.
I need to see an interview. I need to understand the psychology of letting people diss this guy and then coming back to work with him. And if the idea is it wasn't me, you know what I'm saying? I just rap. You know, what they say is what they say, what I say is what I say. If that's the psychology of it, fine, whatever. But it looked a little funny in the light, man. And to be fair, it is kind of what I expect out of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like if you are on the timeline and you see some nonsense, it's typically out of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, also, I'm gonna say this. I think it's a money issue too. Because the Future got all these kids. He has to do what is going to make the most money, whatever is the most financially sensible. Like, you sold your back catalog for like 70 million.
I ain't know about that.
Yeah, he sold his back catalog for about 70 million, is I think the estimate, which 70 million, you got some basketball players gonna make that in 2 years. So I think he has to make more money going forward, especially with all them kids. We know what that child support looks like. So I think he kind of had to run back to Drake. You know what I'm saying? This is Drake running back to Atlanta.
See, that's you're sprinkling your Drake love onto this, bro.
No.
We got not so fast, my boy. Not so fast. All right. I don't think it's running back to Drake, bro. I think you nailed it initially, bro. Future don't care about the politics. And like, I know you said you want a Future interview, but that takes away from what I was mentioning earlier is the mystique, bro. The beauty of Future, bro, is that you don't know who Future really is. You know who Future is? All you know him to be is what he has said in his songs.
The rapper, yep.
Which is a wild individual, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's who you know him to be. And that's what really can't be taken away from him. Future becomes Ross if he starts doing interviews and going live all the time, and we find out niggas a class clown all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Future's in a great spot because like the mystique that surrounds him is just it's as big as he is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like Drake and Future also, like, to me, they're kind of like opposites but the same, bro. Like, and I say that because it's like this the way that Drake embodies the culture, pulls from a whole bunch of things to embody it. Future is naturally the culture without having to pull from things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like when those two forces collide, bro, it's going to be a classic every time, bro. Because you're literally getting the best of both worlds. That is rap, bro. Like,
no, you make a good point. When Drake links up with like who is the culture for a certain region, you know what I'm saying? Like when I hear him with Kodak, or when he did a song with Game, like whoever kind of, like you said, is that culture of that region, he kind of it just works well. You know what I'm saying? It just fits like a glove. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I like it. I'm not mad at it. It's not my favorite song on the album. In fact, I actually think my only critique of all three albums is Ran to Atlanta, Little Birdie, and I can't think of the other one, the California song, to something for something. I can't think of the name, but it got the opening beat. I feel like those should have just been stashed at the end of the album because they're I think the rest is revenge, disappointment, emotions. I'm getting off my bag. I'm unloading the clip, and I think those three are just like regional bops. And I feel like I'm not gonna say they're misplaced, but I think the album could have been a little tighter if they were tagged on to the back of the album, almost like deluxe tracks, bonus tracks, or something.
No, that's a good point. You know, one thing I'm curious about the album is because, like, bro, Drake got in his rap bag. I wonder, like, which, you know, I got to think like this. I'm a man of the people at the end of the day. I wonder which of these tracks is going to take off in the club, bro. Like, what's going to be the one that's going to be like, we're ready to function? I think it's going to be the where she at. When my man did that, I said, it's over, bro. Your baby mom ain't even post a single.
Boys, I put you through the ringer.
That jump was crazy.
Yeah.
Where she at is crazy.
Hey, that's crazy.
Bruh, I think that Drake gonna have the summer lit. And it's not the best song on the jump,
No.
but it's the one that's gonna have everybody in the function. Like,
You know why? It's because the energy in that video is infectious. Like, them boys, you could tell they been themselves. They in their element. They taking shots. Like, one of them ain't even really want to be on camera. Like, you watch that video, come on, man. I'm with Noel. Like, come on, man.
that shit go crazy.
But that joint and Shebang, like, mid, skip. Like, them joints, I can't wait to hear them outside. They sound crazy in the whip. I already know. I can't wait to be at the bullpen or wherever else and hear DJ drop them.
Because, bro, end of the day, outside is the what we refer to as outside, wherever your outside is, bro, it's the collective opinion. And like, yo, something can slap crazy, bro, solo. Like, you can respect the artistry solo, respect the bars, but like, you might have a whole different feeling when you outside. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody plays Nas God's Son while I'm outside, I'm not gonna be all that excited. But if I'm in the whip and that shit comes on, I'm hyped. You know, you feel me? Like, outside is just its own. It's got its own opinion.
I'm gonna give you a perfect example. That dad gonna spin that Carisha. That thing's trash.
That track is horrible.
But when it drop outside, I think it's going up.
It's definitely going up, bro. It's definitely going up. It already has gone up. I can confirm. And you're right, bro. And when we all heard that, we was like, this is hard. This is awful.
Yeah.
But like, yo, outside got its own mind, bro. And like, you gotta respect outside, bro. And one thing about my man Drizzy, bro, he knows how to win outside. And that's what was that's why Kendrick won the beef, because we was looking at an artist that doesn't always win outside. He gonna win in the whip. Doesn't always win outside. He won outside, but they not like us. And now Drake back in his bag where it's like, dog, if Drake wins outside, which we'll see this summer, which I think he will, you know, he back on top. And I think we got another Drake album coming soon, bro. I wouldn't be shocked if like middle of the summer he drop another project to be like, boom, I'm back on your head. Like,
well, if he's truly out of the deal, which is the rumor on the street, 3 albums I'm out of the deal, I can see him dropping another album because what do you mean? All this money going back to me like I'm a free agent, and I feel like I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. It could be a little too like in a rush. Like, you know what it's like? It's almost like you single for the first time again. The first one you hit might not be the best one because you just happy to be free. You know what I'm saying?
You a fool.
I take his time, but I agree with you. We probably do get another album before the end of the year, but I think he should take his time.
We're gonna see, man. Shout out to Iceman, though. Definitely a fire album, definitely a moment in the culture. Now let's get into some sports, man. We got to do it, bro. And we're gonna talk some conference finals, give our prediction on where we think this shit is headed, and then I got another conversation that I gotta loop you into, T. That I feel like the two of us will be able to break it down well. So let's start with conference finals, man. And let's work our way backwards. We're working in the opposite way that we usually do. So my prediction for the finals, like I'm on the record in the group chat, which is the official on the record. I got Cavs Thunder, bro. And after the first night, Thunder Spurs, my prediction of the Thunder's not looking all that great because Wemby went historic. Wemby went Iceman. You know what I'm saying? But I think that series is going to come back around. I think the Thunder are just going to prove to be a little too much for a young Spurs team who are still building. They're nice, but second year players contributing as much as they are like Dylan Harper, third year players contributing as much as they are like Stephon Castle. Like, bro, this is eventually going to slow down, I feel like. And the experience of the Thunder, I feel like, will eventually win out. What's your opinion on that Western Conference series?
Spurs, man. Spurs. And one thing I've realized about what I've been seeing in the West is like the team that's the bigger bully seem to win. And I watched the Spurs bully. No, who was it? Yeah, I watched the Spurs bully Ant. You know what I'm saying? I watched the Spurs bully the T-Wolves. Like we not scared of you. We disrespecting you. We picking Ant up full court. Like that type of energy. And then I watched the Thunder bully every single team all season. And I watched the T-Wolves bully Jokic in them. So it's just like whatever team is the most physical, whichever team is the toughest. I thought the Thunder last night were flat almost. It almost looked like a boxer getting into a fight and realizing like my knockout punch, he kind of eating it. Like he not really scared of it. Like my power, he not really hurt by my power. And it was moments when you look at the Thunder bench and I'm like, I don't really like the energy. So I see what you're saying. I do think the Thunder will put up a fight. But it got to be concerning that Spurs got him without Fox out there. Castle had 11 turnovers. You know what I'm saying?
Triple-double with the turnovers is crazy, especially when.
So if you get a seasoned guard out there, that number should drop.
Well, we also had to mention that it was double overtime, so it's like a whole extra quarter. So, like, I don't want to shit on them too hard about the turnovers, but 11 is still a lot.
11 is.
I think, bruh, unfortunately for the Thunder, they got one of their best players back. And the reason I say unfortunately is it's hard to integrate a piece that large this late in the game, bruh. Like, J-Dub, Jalen Williams is a dog, bruh. He's a dog. But A.J. Mitchell been averaging a dub, bruh.
Going crazy.
Jalen Williams comes back, and A.J. Mitchell has 5 points. And Jalen Williams is missing, like, he's taking shots to integrate himself back into the flow, but in crunch time moments. Now, he had a couple clutch three. He had a clutch three, like, at the end of the first OT. Like, don't get me wrong, he still did his thing a bit. But it's like some of the shots he was taking were clearly trying to integrate himself back into the offense. And, bro, we in the Western Conference Finals, bro. We can't integrate you back. No, we already humming, bro. And I feel like it was like subtraction by addition to the Thunder, bro. Bringing Jalen Williams back, but they had to do it because he's that good of a piece.
I was going to say, as a coach, coaches are willing to live and die with their dogs. You know what I'm saying? And I respect it. But at the same time, you got to get more minutes. You got to get more shots for Mitchell. Like, the last 5 games had me thinking maybe this guy should have his own team.
Or but maybe Jalen Williams could be a trade piece.
Yeah, like he might be expendable. But at the same time, I realize when you're playing around a lot of talent, sometimes you can have them spurts where you really look like the guy. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you're right. Like, bringing him back messed up the offense. Because there were moments where ball just wouldn't go in. And Mitchell's been scoring. You know what I'm saying? For whatever else, he's been making shots, he's been scoring. So they got something to figure out. But it didn't help that Wemby hates Chet.
Yeah, the Chet meme's been insane, bro.
Wemby.
They put a Chet jersey on Harold from Hey Arnold. I mean, Stinky from Hey Arnold, bro. That joint had me dead. The memes they put the dude from what's the joint McLevin? They put McLevin's face on Chet. I said, internet vicious. Chet got to step up. I felt like Chet was a little timid. I feel like the Spurs did a good job, like, switching Chet off of Wemby. I also think, like, you got to commit one way or the other, and I think that Mark Daigneault was a little too, like, indecisive of what he wanted to do defensively. If you're going to put the small on Chet, put the small on Chet from the beginning of the game and just rock out that way. The small on Wemby. Put the small on Wemby from the beginning of the game and just rock out that way the rest of the game and let Chet be the help defender consistently, right? But Chet didn't get into the flow, in my opinion, of being the help rim defender, bro. He got caught in between, like, should I help on the corner three? Should I help defend? Should I help defend the paint? It's like he didn't get a good flow of when to do which one. And I felt like that was because they kept switching, like, okay, you're going to guard Wemby for now. Oh, now we're going to put Caruso back on. We're going to put Dort back on. Bro, have a plan and stick with that shit so that your players can really get integrated into the plan, bro.
Also, that's part of the difference between those two guys, right? Wemby is just a higher IQ guy. He understands the game of basketball a little bit better. He's more passionate about the game. He cried during a regular season game. Like, we're talking about two totally different tiers of players, and it's probably a tier 2 between them. So I get what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? And I do think it makes sense because if this is the system, it's a lot easier to get comfortable, right? It's a lot easier to know what to expect and to know what, like, your teammates are going to do. If this is what we're going to do. I'm going to check them or I'm going to help. But I don't think it matters, bro. I think Wemby looking at them boys like food regardless. Like, I'm tired of this Chet, man. I seen it on my timeline. Wemby fouled out 22, 8 and 8. He mad. Looked like he want to tear the jersey. This is high school. Chet, Chat wins the game with 10 points, gets MVP.
Yeah, that shit is a killer. But that's in that era where you MVP if you win, bro. So, but you're right. You're right.
As a kid, right? Because they were kids at the time. As a kid, those are the moments that stick with you. When you feel robbed, when you feel like I did more, when you feel like maybe the ref took me out that game, I'm better than him, but they're talking about him. Yeah, man, Wimby got a chip on his shoulder, man. He talking crazy. He talking crazy in French.
Nah, Wimby with an all-time game, bro. And I've been hard on Wimby, bro. Part of it is like me as a Wizards fan. I feel like he was supposed to be a Wizard. He was a ping pong ball away from having Wimby. So I do low key be hating on Wimby from time to time. Oh, my shit went dark. But yeah, bro. I don't know, bro. I just feel like this series, when it's all said and done, the Thunder are going to get this series, and we're going to look back and say, once Wemby gets his first one, he's going to run them off. But I don't think this is his first one, bro. I don't think it's coming this soon, man. We'll see, though.
I mean, yeah, it's something to be said about experience. So I get it. I just think Wemby's too much.
Yeah, we'll see about that. You could be right. All right, let's keep it pushing now. So who you got coming out the East?
Knicks, because like you said, there's something to be said about experience. This is the more experienced team.
Oh, so now you like experience.
What? Yeah. But there's no crazy superstar on either team, and Mitchell's been playing really well, but like, it's not Wemby. But the thing that worries me is I feel like Evan Mobley can go guard Cat, like no problem. Like I go guard perimeter, check you. You know what I'm saying? I think he can limit a lot of Cat's effectiveness. I think Cat really will have to play tough and not just, that fake Jokic role. And then when you get to the rim, you still got Allen at the rim, who's been playing better than Mobley. I never thought I'd see the day where this man he still got an afro. He has the number of the hair when you create a player you never pick. Like, man got a headband and an afro, number 2 headband, number 3 hairstyle, like 7-footer. Like you don't create players like that, not in any serious capacity. But he's balling, man. But I think this series, just like the last one, comes down to the bigger star, right? The bigger star to me is Brunson. And Mitchell's a small guard, and Harden can't guard. So I think Brunson has his way.
But that's like when you in algebra and you see like the negative plus a negative equals a positive. You know what I'm saying? You see 2 negatives next to each other, like, oh, that's a positive. I feel like that's what Brunson and Harden are in the Cavs' favor. Because it's like, yeah, Harden can't guard, but Brunson might be the only player in the league that's a superstar that guards worse than Harden. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, by default, they win that matchup, bro. And we see, tonight, like, Cavs got in that ass, bro. And that's a big win for them because this entire playoffs, they'd only won 1 game on the road.
Yeah.
And that was the game that they stole last series in Detroit, right? And, to take the series. So I think that, I don't know, bro. I think that's going to I'm sorry. They won 2 games at home. They got 2 in Detroit. My bad.
I would like to see Harden in the chip, just to be frank. I would like to see him, but I know Harper. I know whichever team wins, they're going to turn him inside out. But I'd like to at least say Harden got there.
Yeah. I mean, I think you brought up a good point about the bigs of Cleveland. They've been playing really well, man. I thought Mobley in the closeout game was excellent, bro. I mean, he was excellent. He was everything that we thought he should be. Mobley's a former defensive player of the year, bro. And then Jared Allen might be at this point just as good as Mobley on defense, bro. Like, man, I think they just got a tough squad, and I like their supporting cast. I like the Knicks roster top to bottom probably a little more than Cleveland. I feel like it's a little more of an evened out roster. But if we're just talking about like firepower and then role players, I like Cavs got some role players, bro. Yeah. Cavs got some role players. Schroeder be playing the hell out of his role, and Sam Merrill, bro. I gotta talk about Sam Merrill got a certified clip, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew he had a clip, but I didn't know it was quite like this, bro.
Nah, and he got quick release, like, and he shooting with no confidence. Like he feel like it's dropping every time it leave his hand. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you got a white guard, he either got to be a knockdown shooter like that, or he got to be a Caruso where Caruso can shoot, but where he's running around playing defense, a Deladova type, like a hustle. I use my father called Charlie Hustle types. But no, Merrill can play, man, and Wade can play too. He hasn't played well as of late, but you know what I'm saying? Wade can play.
Nah, facts. Wade's decent, bro, and I think Merrill really made himself some money this playoff run though. He gonna be, he made himself some bread, bro. And then Strus is another like perfect like compliment to like what Harden and Mitchell got going on, because you can't be too ball dominant playing with Harden and Mitchell. Like you just can't. Like the Knicks reserve, the Knicks role players have a little room to be ball dominant at times, but the Cavs guys, it's like you don't get to dribble, bro. You know,
you guys maybe cut, yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna see how that series goes, man. I feel like I'm still trying to work on my lighting here in the background, so my bad if y'all see me trying to figure things out. But we're gonna see how that series goes, man. Still got the Cavs coming out the top, and shout out to them getting game one. Major victory. All right, Lane. Last conversation of the night. I got this question for you, bro. This has been a big topic in our group chat. I wonder if it's going around like in other sports factions as much as it is in our group chat. But it's the generational topic, man. Like, it's a word that gets thrown around a lot. Don't get me wrong. I know the word gets thrown around a lot right now. Everyone's getting the tag of generational. Hey, this guy's generational, this person's generational. And it maybe it's watered down what it means to be generational, right? Perhaps. I want to get your take on that. Like, what does generational mean to you? Like, do you like the term? Do you feel like it's watered down? Do you feel like people got to chill with using it?
I feel like every term's watered down.
Yeah.
These days, easily, every term's watered down. But to me, generational is just like the term says, generational. Like you are once, maybe twice, and in extreme situations, maybe three times in a generation. And like generational talents are like undeniables, almost hard to reproduce. And we talked about this in the group chat. Like I do feel like you can be generational in a few different ways, right? Wemby is generational, size and skill, but also I thought Bobo was. So
Bobo fooled a lot of us.
Yeah, but okay, but also right, we might want to say somebody like a James Harden. You could say James Harden is a generational scorer. Like you could say, trying to think, Ben Wallace was a generational defender. Dennis Rodman was a generational rebounder. So it does get into skill a little bit too. And I'm not mad at you with your preference in the use of generational. What I don't like though is when we start calling things generational, people generational that we've seen multiple times in multiple generations and multiple iterations. That's when I'm just like, all right, man, what are we talking about here? So
that's
for me, without naming people, I think I start my generational list with like athleticism. Just me personally. Like I think Zion is size, speed, ability generational. LeBron, size, speed, ability generational. Wemby, size, maybe not speed, but size and ability generational. So I start with the freak of natures, right? Where you couldn't make a LeBron if you tried. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't make a Zion if you tried. Like I've never seen nobody like Zion. The closest thing you probably see to Zion probably ended up as a defensive end. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, facts though.
So, you know, maybe Javon Curse or somebody like Javon Curse with a jump shot. Who knows?
Miles Garrett type shit. Nah, I'm with you. Yeah. Now, I think you really described it well, kind of how I feel. I think we got other people that feel like, bro, there can only generational means there can only be one every 20 years or every 10 years, every 15 years. Like, and I think like using the example of Zion is perfect, right? I think there's levels to generational. I think the tag usually gets put on people when they're prospects, right? I think that's where the whole conversation gets fucked up, right? Because to me, there's generational prospects and there's generational players, right? So like Wembanyama was a generational prospect who is turning out to be a generational player. Zion Williamson was a generational prospect who has not turned out to be a generational player, right? But like if I were to be like, yo, Klay Thompson is a generational shooter, that's a fact, bro. And if when Klay Thompson was a prospect, I were to say, I think Klay Thompson can end up being generational, I would have been right. And somebody might be like, man, you can't call him generational when he was a prospect. But if I foresaw him becoming a generational shooter, then I could have called him generational at the time and still been right. I think that's where the conversation gets kind of convoluted, bro. Is because like people aren't drawing those lines constantly on if they're calling someone a generational prospect or saying they have the potential to be a generational player.
Well, that's the thing. Like you said, no one's drawing those lines. Mark Jackson, I remember Mark Jackson saying these are the best two shooters that have ever played. And people were like, nah, that's crazy. But
yeah. And people were saying, like, what about Reggie Miller? But like, people were mad at Mark Jackson because he played with Reggie Miller. And they were like, how you can say that when Reggie Miller, you play with Reggie Miller? Like, dude, this dude knows what he's talking about, bro.
Right. I at the gym with him. Like, he's wild.
Right. Yeah. But like, I think that's where like another perfect example is like Shea, right? Like to me, SGA is a generational NBA player. Like you're not going to just get an SGA that comes around all the time. But he was not a generational prospect. And it took him time to reach this generational player status, bro, where you win back-to-back MVPs. You fresh off a finals MVP. You got the triple crown, finals MVP, league MVP, scoring title, like NBA champion in the same year. Like these are generational accolades, bro, that like it just is what it is, dog. Like
that's a hard one for me. Like SGA generational is like it's how he's going about his business. All right. When we think generational, we think greats, the greatest. And outside of like maybe Iverson, like he's on the floor more than any other player I've ever seen. I saw somebody make this point, and I'm like, no, that makes a lot of sense. Like the man touches the floor, and my like Tate, my son, he says like SGA, he calls SGA a foul baiter. And it's not SGA's fault. The rules are the rules. You know what I'm saying? And it's smart. It's savvy. Harden did it. But I do think that I don't know if he's generationally skilled. I think he was able to generationally like finesse the rule to achieve these accolades. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a hater, but like I feel like I don't want to reward that style of play with a generational tag, even if it is generational.
I mean, I see what you're getting at, bro, right? And this is where I think like my definition or our definition of generational, as much as they align, might start to veer off, right? Because to me, it's like for instance, right? Let's live in a world where Shea does this exact thing he's doing, right? And he runs off 4 straight championships, right? Let's just live in this fiction world for a second, right? Bro, to me, that's generational because your accolades, because there's no one that comes around and wins in that fashion. It doesn't happen. So to me, you're a generational player.
And that hypothetical, he runs off 4 straight. Are you putting him above Jordan?
I'm not. I'm probably not. But like, because I'm not like in direct comparison, I probably still wouldn't put him above Jordan in that case. But I'm just saying, like, from that perspective, you feel me? Like this is where my generational definition gets a little murky when I feel like the definition gets murky because there's levels to it, bro. Like there's different ways to be generational, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if I say someone's a generational player because they've done something that no one else is doing, then yes, bro. To me, that's a generational player. That's they only coming around once or twice in a generation.
Okay. I'm gonna name a player. You tell me if they're generational. Tom Brady.
Generational.
Peyton Manning.
Generational.
Aaron Rodgers.
Generational.
Brett Favre.
Not generational.
I don't know the difference between the two of those guys, but next player, Matt Stafford.
Not generational.
Michael.
Generational at the time. Like what I'm saying is like at the time, yes. But now if Mike Vick were to come out, it wouldn't be so generational. He was generational of that generation.
You said Mike Vick could be Tyrod?
He'd be more like Justin Fields. People not gonna like that.
Justin Fields, we need to clip this. Justin Fields is crazy.
Nah, it is crazy.
Cam Newton.
Say it again.
Cam Newton.
Generational prospect.
Lamar Jackson.
Generational.
Josh Allen.
Generational.
Those
are the two guys that are generational this generation. Them and Pat Mahomes.
Okay. Westbrook.
Russell?
Yes.
Generational.
Harden.
That's tough, bro. That because the Harden one tests my entire theory of generational. Based off my theory, he's generational. But yeah, generational.
Draymond Green.
No. No. But again, though, based off my theory, there's only gonna be one Draymond in a generation, bro. This is what I'm saying. Like, are you gonna get another Draymond this generation? You're not. He's generational, bro.
We have one already. It's actually they're twins. We have two twins that can do everything that Draymond can do.
The fact that they're twins might make them generational. I'm just saying.
One sperm. All right, man. The egg split. Now they generational.
I'm getting real loose with the generational. This is why people hate my generational take, bro, because it widens the generational gap. No pun intended.
So now we have a generation of generationals.
Yeah, you're poking holes in my generational theory right now. But
is this era the greatest generation? Because you just named a whole bunch of generational players.
All right. Realistically, bro, I feel like you can have like 5 to 10 generational players in an era because like you can have so many different ways of being generational. And I think that's where someone like what you're like doing, maybe purposely, maybe not, but what you are doing is poking holes in my theory because it's like if I just ran off 25 generationals, how can there be this many generationals? Well, but if I were to explain why each one is generational, you'll see why. Like Russell Westbrook is generational because he played at a pace that only Oscar Robertson has in the history of the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
I mean,
that's generational shit. Like Draymond Green is generational because like
with your theory, right? The Warriors at one time had 5 generational players.
I'll say this. With my theory, they definitely had 3 because Steph is generational. He's a generational player. Klay Thompson is a generational shooter. And Draymond Green is a generational tag-along.
What about KD?
KD is a generational player. He's a generational player. Like, it's a fact. So it's like it's also like, bruh, if the definition of generational is they only come around every 10 years, right? And I have a prototype of a player that's not going to come back around for a minute, then that's technically should be generational.
Well, no, But
like if the definition is this guy only comes around, a KD will only come around every 10 years. It doesn't like
that. So I do want to add something that probably helps your theory. And I argue this in real life when we start talking about millennials and things like that. I do think generations don't have to be 10 years. Like a generation could be 4 years, a generation could be 6 years. I think a generation could change when the game changes, which creates a whole new generation. Because like Harden, I guess coming from Nash and and D'Antoni, like changed the game to where we're shooting 1,000 threes. Steph, they helped change the game to, all right, right there, you cut that off. And now the next generation begins, the next era. You know what I'm saying? The next era begins, so it breeds a whole new generation. And if you was on the cusp of that before, like maybe you didn't make it to be generational, and then the next guy gets to be generational because he's on the other side of that, and maybe he wouldn't have been before that. So which would create more generational players. But I see what you're saying. I just think a lot of people are going to have a tough time trying to digest your concept of generational.
no, it's a fact. It's a fact, and it's. I see why they poke holes in it. I see why y'all get on me in the group chat for saying everybody's generational, which I don't. Everybody's not generational to me, right? But like, I also like to predict, and if y'all, my track record speaks for itself. I done called a lot of players, bro. That's just a fact, bro. That's a fact. And like if I say I think someone has generational potential in the league versus this is a generational prospect, I try to draw the line in the sand of what I mean there. But for my definition to like even work, I have to constantly be drawing lines in the sand, and that's not the best definition to have ever. You got to always qualify it all the time.
What I do respect about your takes is right. It's most people fail, right? So it's a lot easier to predict when something won't work. So to be able to even shoot 50% when predicting like greater success, you know what I'm saying? Or even taking the opportunity or taking that risk to try to predict it. You know what I'm saying? You kind of got to respect that. But for as many hits, you're going to get some big misses because you're taking big swings when you're talking about generational potential, really big swings. So, and, you got to take the good with the bad.
That's a fact. And for that, I end up being like you with your Iceman loyalties to players I should probably leave behind. But I keep following their careers, hoping that they one day become generational.
I believe at one point you said Luka was better than Zion. I mean, Zion was Luka.
I said he would end up having a better career when it was all said and done. I did say that. This in hindsight looks crazy.
Maybe maybe in the sheets.
But at the same time, that's in that example, I got caught in the hype of the generational prospect. Because mind you, this is when Zion first got drafted. That's how long we've been doing the show as well. But this is around the time when Zion first got drafted, right? And I got caught in the generational prospect turning into the generational player. Mr. Big Leaguer learns from his mistakes. All right, I've since learned from that, and I've fine-tuned my way of deciding who's generational and who's not.
And update the algorithm.
I had to update exactly, bro. My AI was a little off, bro. I was moving like ChatGPT. Like, I had to get more like Claude. But
I will say though, I kind of lean towards you where I think there's more generational guys than people give credit to, and mathematically, right? We're talking about the 0.01% of athlete talent in the world at this level. So realistically, most of these guys are generational in general. But when we're trying to define, and that's probably why when we're trying to define like the greatest of the great, it gets into a lot of gray because a lot of people are really great in different ways. Because as much as I want to argue against Draymond being generational, who else has done it? Who else has done it? Guard 1 through 5, win a bunch of championships, high IQ guy. It has to be, you can't tell me somebody is capable of it. I need to see them actually do it. So no, I'm not mad at them.
That's a great point. I guess a great point. I think also generational, the tag generational itself also gets like lumped in with greatness in a certain way, where it's like Draymond might not be the 100 greatest player to ever play basketball, but he might still be generational. And there might be players that are better than Draymond that we don't consider generational. And I think that's where the shit gets a little tricky, bro. Because
I'm gonna give you one more name because I'm just thinking about it. Carmelo Anthony.
Generational, bro. Generational, dog. Come on, man. Come on, man. We don't do that, bro. Don't do that to Melo, bro.
First of all, you lose generational status when we say Melo and nobody thinks about you.
He got robbed of the name. But, like you said, generations get cut off, and, it's not his fault another Melo came up. At least he didn't lose it to Melo Trimble, all right? At least it was Melo Ball. But it's an interesting conversation, bro, and I think, I want to segue our generational conversation. Last topic of the night, and we'll get out of here. But I want to segue this conversation to the upcoming NBA draft because we're fresh off the NBA Combine, right? And, man, I saw some staggering numbers come out from these prospects, as far as verticals went, standing reaches, wingspans. I'm like, hold up, bro. It felt like a NBA 2K mock fantasy draft, bro. Like when you do the little draft after you've been playing for one too many seasons and you just doing dynasty drafts all the time. It's starting to feel like that because these prospects looking a little freaky out here. And I want to ask you, bro, obviously at the top, we've got Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, AJ DeBosa, Caleb Wilson, right? Do you think any of these players are generational? And it can be prospect. It can be, I feel like it's a generational prospect, or I feel like this is a generational player eventually. But do you see that?
I think potential is there for some of those guys. It's tough, man. It's tough because if a guy like Draymond can fall into a spot where he ends up being generational, how can I say Cam Boozer won't? But just looking at what I've already seen, just raw numbers and data that I've compiled on these guys, I think probably Peterson out of the bunch. You know what I'm saying? AJ has the numbers, right? He's tall. He's to me, it comes down to AJ and Peterson. To me, those are the most generational from the eye test. Do you want Timu T-Mac or Timu Kobe? And I think I gotta lean Timu Kobe because the real T-Mac didn't surpass Kobe, and I don't think Timu T-Mac will beat the Timu Kobe. Basically because I don't believe in AJ's shooting ability, and I don't believe in his defensive ability. I think his length gives him the ability to do it, but I think Peterson's just much more confident, more of a dog. So I think Peterson's more generational. He's a prototypical size, and he wants to score. You know what I'm saying? So I think Peterson. In limited minutes, we saw him in college going crazy.
Yeah, that's a fact. I like your Timu Kobe and Timu T-Mac comparisons. I think that's funny, but and I think it's somewhat accurate as far as the games, how the games are. But when we start saying Timu Kobe versus Timu T-Mac, I feel like what made Kobe was the mentality. It was the Mamba mentality, bro. And when you sit out a whole bunch of games to cramping, bro, it's not giving Mamba mentality.
But when he's in the game, what is he doing?
No, he balling, bro. I'm not taking that away from him. He balling, bro. But it's just not giving that Mamba mentality. To me, I think Darren Peterson's got a shot to be he's not a generational prospect to me, but I do think he has a shot to be a generational player. I think he reminds me of prime Ray Allen, bro. Prime Ray Allen. When Ray Allen could still jam on you.
Not Booker?
No, I think he's a little more explosive than Booker.
Okay.
I think he's a little more explosive than Booker was. I think the combine testing showed that too.
Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Exactly, bro. That Ray Allen. When he was dunking on your head, bro, with the Bucks and the Seahawks and the Supersonics. That's the guy I see. And then, efficient jump shooter as well. DeBonta, I feel like might fit the NBA game a little better right now. I think athletically, DeBonta just is off the charts, bro. 42-inch vert at 6'9.5". That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. That's like the best. They said he had a vert better than Blake Griffin and sprint speed faster than John Wall.
No, that's crazy.
That's generational prospect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Crazy.
that might be a generational prospect. So I think I'm ready to call him the only generational prospect out of the bunch.
No, Cam Carr too. Like,
yeah, I like Cam Carr. That's my guy.
I'm a big Cam Carr and I'm a big Flemings fan. Like, just watching this process, those guys put up some crazy numbers in the combine too.
I thought Fleming got hurt by some of the measurements. I thought he was taller than that. I think he came out like 6'2". I thought he was like, I kept hearing 6'4", 6'5" guard. He looks tall, but
I'm hearing 6'4".
Yeah, and so when that measurement came out, I was a little shocked. And then his arms were a lot shorter than I think some of these measurements, we dive too deep into them. They don't really matter as much as we make them to be. But, like, I do feel like long arms in the NBA is a big help. And when his wingspan came out, I was a little shocked about that too. I think he's going to be a good player, though.
What does it help, though, as a defender?
As a defender, as a dunker, like, if your arms are long, you don't have to jump as high to dunk. You don't have to jump as high to finish around people. Like, you don't have to – it just makes up for a little something.
No, I'm a long arm guy. I forgot what my wingspan is, but I forgot I measured it. It's like 7'6" or something. It's something crazy. I got like a crazy wingspan. No, not 7'6". I'm tripping.
I was about to say you might be generational, my boy. 6'2" with a 7'6" wingspan.
No, it's like 6'9". It's like 6'9".
That's still crazy though.
Like I know for a fact that like I can grab both ends of a like a queen mattress or something. Like, I got crazy long arms, and it helped. It's helpful. I could put it like this: I could grab the net without jumping.
And like shit like that is helpful, bro. You don't have to jump as high to dunk. You don't have to. You can get block shots without having to be as explosive. Like, that shit matters. I think it matters in basketball more than any other sport. But I was a little shocked with that about him. But I feel like it's going to come down to DeBonta and Peterson as far as like who ends up being the best players in this draft. I think Caleb Wilson is a dark horse too, because I do see like it wouldn't shock me if he becomes a KG type. And I feel like the ceiling there is Giannis. I feel like KG is who I see, but I feel like the ceiling is like Giannis, where it's like I'm KG with handles. You know what I'm saying? And like
what I don't understand is why couldn't AJ be Giannis? Like, you 6'10" in your shoes, and you telling me you run faster than John Wall. Like, to me, that seems like if I get straight to the rim, I got long arms. One dribble inside the 3-point line, I should be at the rim.
I wonder about the strength. I feel like the Giannis comes with the strength, though. You know what I'm saying? You got to be stronger than everybody, to be honest. I mean, and I don't know if AJ DeBonta has the body to be the strongest player on the floor night in, night out in the NBA. Giannis steps on the floor, and he's the strongest player on the floor. Caleb Wilson looks like he has the body to develop like into being the strongest player on the floor. I don't know if I see that for DeBonta, but I like the T-Mac comparison. I disagree with you as far as DeBonta's jump shot. To me, like, the mid-range is the biggest teller. Mid-range and free throws are always the biggest teller to me on how your jump shot really is. We can teach you a three as long as your shit not broke. You know what I'm saying? And if you got a great mid-range, your shit usually not broke.
I don't like his mechanics personally.
Really?
I don't like. Yeah, I'm not big on his mechanics. Which, you know, Halliburton can make threes. LaMelo can make threes. We've seen guys make threes that didn't have the greatest mechanics. If you're consistent, you work enough. You know what I'm saying? If you do something wrong enough, you'll figure out how to make it right. So that could be fixed. But I'm not high on his jump shot.
Yeah, see, I'm the exact opposite. I'm very high on DeBonta as a shooter. I think especially in the mid range. And when I watch where the game is headed, the mid-range is back. It's been coming back, but it's like officially back. And if you can dominate the mid-range in this era of basketball, you're a problem. And I see that. I see that for DeBonta. I also think the first step is legitimate. I think he's got some advanced counter moves that he's going to be able to build off of. I feel like he's got that little rip through that Donovan Mitchell put the ball over your head with the jump stop. And then from that jump stop, he's able to create off of it, shoot off of it, reverse off of it. And then you throw a 42-inch vert on top of that, bro. Like the Bonsa to me has got MVP of the league potential.
So is that the Wizards pick?
As a Wizards fan, I feel like that's got to be the pick. If they announced Peterson's name, I wouldn't be pissed. I wouldn't be mad because I feel like Peterson's got the chance to be a generational player as well, just not a generational prospect. I'd rather take the generational prospect and trust the fact that, like, from what the Wizards have shown to me, they're going to be able to develop players. And I know we get shit on a lot, but our player development is legitimate right now. And I feel like if you put a guy like AJ DeBonta that has the tools, he's going to get the runway to become what he can become. He's going to get the runway to make some mistakes early on, the runway to kind of learn on the job, which I feel like a lot of rookies don't get, and that kind of fucks their trajectory up. So I would take DeBonta right now. And this is like the third time I've changed on this, right? You remember at the beginning of the season, I was like, dog, it's Darren Peterson. He's the best player I've ever seen, right? And then I was like, nah, it's Cam Boozer. He's going to be a winner. He might be Tim Duncan. And by the end of the season, I was like, it's DeBonta, bro.
So is this I do want to ask this before we get off, because it wouldn't be me if I didn't ask. Is this one of those situations where because it's Washington, no matter what they pick, they'll get it wrong? Is this a Jaden Daniels, Drake May situation?
Nah, because Jaden Daniels wasn't wrong, bro. He's still right. I mean,
Drake May went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Jaden Daniels went to the conference championship. Like, I mean, early in those careers, I don't believe that at all, bro. I think it might be more of a situation where either way Washington goes, they get it right. Let's not forget, a couple drafts ago, the first pick was Reese Shea, and Washington ended up with Alex Sarr. That looks right in hindsight, right?
Great pick. Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to take like the name Wizards and just attribute shit to them right now because of the records. But if you really take a close look at what they're building, the young players they have, the moves they've made, like, man, they doing something over there, bro. You know, I've been high on the Will Dawkins. I've been in the Will Dawkins GM camp for a minute. I feel like, you know, these guys come from the Thunder, so they know how to build a roster inside out. I think DeBonta goes to the Wizards, dog. He's got Trae Young and AD to learn from early on, and they're still going to give him 25 shots because that's what they do with their rookies. Well, not 25 shots, but you're going to get 15, 20 shots a game.
Like I said, I'm just asking because it's me, but I do agree with you. I think what the Wizards are doing is something special. I think that team could have been a playoff team this year if they weren't tanking. Like, the talent that those guys have. One of my favorite things about the Wizards, and this is going to come right back to the Spurs, right? I like Castle and I like Harper. The Wizards' young guards, perimeter guys, play with that same type of edge. Like, they're not really scared. They don't really care who you are, what name you've already made for yourself. They don't care that you're John Moran or your aunt. Like, they're going to go at you. And if the org didn't dial them back, that's a playoff team. If the org did not dial that team back, because some of them subs is crazy. I'm watching Sharif Cooper play minutes. Like, what are we doing here?
It was a tank, bro.
That's probably, without Trae Young, without AD, I truly believe that's probably a 6th or 7th place team. And now you're adding 2 superstars and the number 1 pick. I expect to see the Wizards no less than 5 next year. No less than 5.
Yeah, I'm thinking play in at worst. We'll see. It was a generational tank, that's for sure. So we'll see what they follow up with this year. If it's DeBonta, we'll see what they can build from. It'll be interesting. I'll be watching close, of course, as a big Wizards fan. But it's just good to see us being mentioned in like a positive light every once in a while now. Like, we in trade talks again. People, they on Twitter talking about us like we've been in the dumps for so long, man. And like, shout out to the Wizards fans who have watched for this entire ride, because it's gonna be sweet for us, bro. It's gonna be sweet because we already know, like, I know Keyshawn George is a dog. I know Will Riley is a special prospect. Like, I know Bub Carrington is a hell of a 3-point shooter. I know Trey Johnson is a top 5 3-point shooter in the league. I know these things before everybody else does. I know Alex Starr can switch 1 through 5, like, you know what I'm saying, and guard Wemby, because I've seen it happen. Like, everybody else gets to find that out, and if they find it out the right way, it could be something serious, bro. So we're gonna see how it shakes out. I'm trying not to put no bad juju on it, so I ain't gonna make no predictions about my Wizards.
Well, I'm gonna just leave with this: the basketball gods will repay you for letting Bam break Kobe's record.
Yeah, every organization needs a low point. That was our low point. You know what I'm saying? Like when the Pistons lost, whatever it was, 28 straight or something crazy. Like that was our low point, bro. It could only go up from Bam Adebayo having 83 points. It can only go up from there, bro. So
that's a fact.
It's the only option, bro. It's the only option.
That's a fact. Goodness.
But we'll see. We'll see, man. Appreciate everybody watching tonight. We went through some good topics, man. I enjoyed it. We ran the 2-man tonight. We're gonna have the rest of the panel back next week. Any closing thoughts, T?
Nah, man. Go out here and stream that Iceman. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna brighten up your day. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be a cold summer.
Shout out to the Iceman, bro. You know we in each and every show. Sports for the culture.
Culture.